Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about a massive shift in marketing. We're going from the world we all know, Web 2, into this whole new frontier, Web 3. And look, this isn't just a tech update. It's about totally rewriting the rules between brands and you, the customer. It's about going from just being an audience to becoming an owner. So yeah, let's dive in.
All right, let's start with a question. Seems simple, but it gets complicated fast. Who really owns the brands you love? I mean, think about it. You buy their stuff, you follow them online, but do you actually have a say in what they do? For the longest time, the answer was a big, fat no. But what if that's changing? What if the whole power structure is flipping on its head?
Okay, so to really get where we're going, we've got to look at where we are right now. We need to talk about the old playbook, the world of Web 2 marketing. It's a model that's been around forever, and it's all about one thing: control.
Think about a huge brand, like Coca-Cola. How does it work? Well, it's totally top-down. You've got a central HQ making all the big decisions, creating these giant global ads, and then just pushing them out to everyone else. It's a one-way street, you know? The company talks, and we listen. And hey, it's worked for them, but all the power, it's stuck right at the very top.
And this right here, this is the core of it, the huge difference between Web 2 and Web 3. In the old way, the Web 2 way, corporations run the show. They're the gatekeepers. And let's be real, your data is their product. They collect tons of it because that's what fuels their ads. Trust? It's something they have to try to earn. But Web 3, it just flips the whole script. The power moves from them to you. You're not just a consumer anymore. You're a co-creator. You actually control your own data. And trust isn't some add-on. It's baked right into the system because everything's transparent.
So yeah, we're not talking about a small tech update here. This is a total revolution in how brands and communities work together, a complete power shift.
The absolute heart of Web 3 is this idea of decentralization. So just forget that classic pyramid shape with the CEO at the top. Instead, picture a flat circle, a network where everyone is connected peer-to-peer. There's no single boss. The power isn't with some executive in a corner office, it's spread out across the entire community.
And that idea, decentralization, it leads directly to the next big thing, community ownership. This is where it gets really cool. You're not just someone who buys the product anymore. You're an actual stakeholder. You have a real voice, a real vote in where the brand goes next. You get to help steer the ship.
And look, it's not just me saying this. The folks at Gracker.ai put it perfectly. This is a branding revolution. It's a total game changer, completely rewriting the rules for how a brand even gets started and grows. Okay, so how do you actually build a brand in this new world? Well, first things first, you got to toss out the old rulebook. Web 3 branding starts from the ground up, with a totally different foundation.
Let's walk through it. This isn't about slick ads, it's about having a real core. Step 1, figure out your mission. What problem are you actually solving? Then you build a vision for the future. A future you're building with your community, not just for them. And the most important part, you have to live and breathe those Web 3 values. Transparency, decentralization from day one. No faking it.
And let's be honest, the Web 3 space is getting crowded, fast. So you have to be smart about where you fit in. You've got to know who your competition is and, more importantly, what makes you different. Your whole message has to connect with people who care about having power and a voice, because that's the audience you're building for. Here's the thing about Web 3. Authenticity isn't just a nice-to-have, it's everything. It's survival. The audience here, they're smart. They have like a built-in BS detector for corporate jargon and fake marketing. Your brand's personality has to be real. It has to genuinely reflect the values of the community you're trying to attract. So, this whole community ownership thing, it sounds great, right? But it's not just some nice idea. It's real, and it's powered by some seriously cool new tools that actually make it happen. They turn those values we talked about into real action. Let me make this super clear. Imagine you're on social media. You like something from a brand. What if that like wasn't just a like? What if it was a vote? What if it actually gave you a tiny piece of say in what that brand does next? That's the big idea behind something called a DAO. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. It's basically like a digital co-op, run by the members, for the members. It works like this. Someone in the community proposes an idea. Then everyone votes on it. If it passes, boom,
The change happens automatically. The brand is literally changing and growing in real time based on what the community wants.
And then there are NFTs. Now, forget the hype about digital art for a second. In this world, think of an NFT as your membership card or a VIP pass. Owning one could get you into exclusive events, unlock special content, or maybe even give you more voting power in that DAO we just talked about. They're a really cool way to reward people for being loyal and active members of the community.
And this whole thing creates a completely new set of incentives for everybody. You can see it here. In Web 2, you get free stuff, but the real price is your data. In Web 3, you control your data, and you can actually get rewarded for it. For brands, yeah, they don't own your data anymore, but they also don't have the massive headache and cost of storing and protecting it. And the platform itself, it's not one company getting rich, it's a network where everyone gets rewarded for participating. It really is a win-win-win.
So where does all this lead? What's the end game? Well, it's a pretty wild idea, one that could totally change what we even think a brand is. It's this concept of a headless brand. Try to picture it, a brand with no CEO, no headquarters, no central boss calling the shots. It's a brand that is created, grown, and changed entirely by the community it serves.
This is decentralization taken to its absolute limit. It's where the community doesn't just influence the brand, they are the brand.
I mean, that's a wild thought, right? It flips everything we know about marketing completely upside down, and it leaves us with one last big question to think about. Is the next Coca-Cola going to be built by a CEO in a boardroom, or is it going to be built by you in a community online? Something to think about. Thanks for watching.